You're listening to the Live Free podcast. I'm your host, Christine, certified life coach, pain to power mentor, and creator of Embody You Mindset Mastery School. I'm here today to discuss living life after disease, disaster, or adversity, to discuss living life fully once again, a life of hope, peace, and resiliency, a life fully embodied. I utilize the lessons that I learned going through not one, but two primary cancers. I'm here today to guide you to the life of your dreams, turn your pain into power, and lead you back to yourself.
Hello and welcome to another episode. Today I want to talk about ways in which we are missing the boat on our own happiness and the solving of our problems that we're currently having in survivorship. So maybe in survivorship you are feeling tired, you are feeling low energy, you have brain fog, you're having difficult time connecting with your partner, all of these different things that happen when you're in survivorship. And so you're focusing a lot of attention on, what medication do I need to take in order to sleep? What supplement do I need to take in order to reduce the stress? How do I correct this brain fog? Who do I need to connect with? Is it physio, acupuncture, all of these different things? And while those things are really important, they are. And they are helpful, yes. There is one single thing that will help to improve every single one of these problems altogether. And I say help to improve in the sense that it will not mitigate them entirely, but it will make it a hell of a lot easier for these physical things that you're doing to work and to change, and for you to choose the correct path, and for you to know what's right for you, and for you to know how to implement it, and for it actually to become impactful and helpful as opposed to just repetitive and making no difference for you. And what that thing is working on, I know this is going to sound very uninteresting and very unsexy, but working on your mindset. Yes, most people are going to turn off this training at this point. I get it. But truly, I want to explain on this episode why working on your mindset should come before all of these physical things that you're doing to improve all of the physical issues that you're having in survivorship. So it comes down to when we are in an unwell state physically, it is always fueled first and foremost by our emotional state. If you are unwell, if you have brain fog, if you are tired, if you can't get your energy back, if you are having physical ailments, rashes, you're uncomfortable in your own skin, weight gain, all of these things that are clearly physical problems, they are fueled by your emotional state. Now, is it entirely? No. Is it only, the medication? No. Is it only the mindset? No. Is it only the chemo and the things that your body went through? No. It is a combination. It is body, mind, and spirit. And if we do not work on body, mind, and spirit, you will never get the body the way that you want it. It's so important. I have seen survivors do this work for years and years and still continue to be struggling because they didn't get into the deeper set, the recesses of their mind, and heal those sides of things. And not everybody is comfortable in going into that trauma work, or doesn't have a counselor, or isn't interested in going into counseling. That's okay. You will get there as time changes, and as time goes, it will become more comfortable and safe for you to do so. I'm not talking about working on your mindset by starting to delve into your trauma. I'm starting to work into your mindset by creating the proper connection with other survivors so you don't feel so alone. It is about getting really clear on what your limiting beliefs and stories are around whether or not you can or cannot heal from cancer. It's about getting really, really clear about what your goals are and where you want to be in 6 months, 1 year, 2 months. And if you don't have those things in play, you are not working on the mind. And spirit is about connecting with your purpose, with the reason this may have happened to you, for the type of person you want to be going forward. Those things are so important as well, because it is that other key contributing factor to healing, is that human beings need a purpose. We need to know there's a reason that these bad things have happened to us. And as that comes into play, the healing will take place. And how I can explain this is that when you are really, really rushed, that's the best way I can describe it. You're really, really rushed. You're late for an appointment, you're rushing, and you're driving as fast as you can, and you're going through lights and all of these sorts of things. If you've ever noticed, in that time, your heart rate is up the entire time. You are feeling ill. You might have a visceral effect to that lateness. Your breath is quick. And when you get there, you have a difficult time bringing down your anxiety. And all of those things are physiological effects to the stimuli of I'm late. And so what makes you think that you can take the right supplements, go to the right physio, get the right medications, and now your body will be well? No. If there is a stimulus of some kind causing your body to be in a fight or flight mode, it will always be in a fight or flight mode, no matter what you take. And so there's simple ways that you can start to get your mindset on board. And I want to talk about a few of them now. These are really basic. I go way deeper when in my groups and connection courses, but these are some really basic ones that might help you today. So number one is getting crystal clear about what your goals are, as opposed to what you don't want. So you're super clear on, I do not want to feel brain fog anymore. That's great, but what do you want to feel? What do you want it to look like? Do you want to have clarity in your mind? Do you want to feel light, energized during the day? Is it that you are wanting to have a breakthrough of some kind? Is it that you are wanting to get back to work and you want your clarity of mind for that purpose? It's getting really, really clear on what you actually want and what that looks like. Because a lot of us are really, really keen and really understanding of what we don't want. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be lonely. But very few of us are really clear on what we do want. And one would think that the opposite of that is, I want to have connection, I want to have money, and I want to have health. But instead, I'm saying, how much money? Instead, I'm saying, what kind of health? Instead, I'm saying, what kind of connection are you looking for? You want to get super clear on these things and Write down with pen and paper what that looks like to you. I know that I've done this 100 times, and every time I do it, I get more and more clear. And I have big ahas every single time that I do it, that I write down every aspect of what I want my life to look like. I realize more and more. Number one, I realize how much I already have, which is a beautiful thing to do, because when you cultivate gratitude, that is when things start to solve for you. But second is I realize things about myself that I didn't realize before it came through that pen onto that piece of paper. So take some time today or the next day, set aside, commit to writing down your goals really, really clearly. You know, what do I want my morning to look like? What do I want my afternoon to look like? What do I want my evening to look like? What would that feel like? What would that open up for me? All of these sorts of things, and you'll be surprised what comes through that pen. So getting ultra crystal clear on your goals gets your mind on board. And now, of course, you think, well, of course I want those things. My mind is already on board. That's your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is on board. It says, hey, I want money. Of course I want money. You know, I want my health back. Of course you want your health back. I get that. But what is your subconscious mind saying? What is the deeper recesses of your mind saying? Maybe it's saying, well, you're not enough for that. You're not worthy enough for that. You're not able. You're not strong enough. You can't do this. Contrary to how much you want it, I get that, but you're too weak and lazy. So if that part of your brain is saying that, then it is sabotaging you constantly. And the subconscious mind, for those of you who don't know, is the other part of your brain. So if you think about a large pool of water, your conscious mind is the very top part of the water, the surface of the water, the part that's usually a little warmer from the sun hitting it. That's the conscious mind. The rest of that depth is the subconscious mind. It is the rest of your mind. It is the one that is running in the background going, oh, I like that stimulus, and oh, I could never do that, and oh, I really like that, but I can never have that, and you know, and it's running in the background. And a lot of the thoughts you aren't really even consciously aware of. Now, the good news is that the subconscious can be trained. You can rewrite those programs. It takes time, repetition, it takes belief, it takes self-understanding, and it takes different subconscious practices that I often detail in my courses. However, it can be done through beginning that process, can absolutely done by just the simplicity of getting really clear on your goals. Writing them down on a piece of paper, reading them back to yourself. That will tap into the deeper recesses of your mind in a way that is going to absolutely shock and awe you. Because we think that we should just keep going through life. I don't have time to write this stuff down. But when you do so, when you write things down, you tap into that part of the brain that says that you can have that. And then to further that, if you really want to tap into that part of the brain, if you really want to make a difference for yourself, visualize the thing that you want. Close your eyes for 5 minutes a day and before you go to bed, and picture the life that you would like. Get really clear on the sound, the sight, the taste, the touch, and the smell. Visualize the goals that you have for yourself. And when you do that, because you have clarity, because you wrote them down, you will begin to tap into the subconscious part of the brain. And when the subconscious is on board with the conscious thoughts, so I want this, and the subconscious goes, actually, yeah, I think I want this too. I think you can do this. When that starts to come into play, you will begin to see all of the little ways that you can improve your physical attributes, you can improve your physical life. Because I know this sounds crazy, but you truly are walking around with blinders on each side. If you think about a horse that's being presented, they'll always have the blinders on each side of that horse. And the reason why is so that the horse doesn't get distracted. And so when your subconscious is on board, you don't get distracted. You stay forward, you stay moving. But without the subconscious on board, you are truly walking around without realizing all of the beautiful opportunities that are on your left and your right. Those blinders are up. So you may not even realize that you walked by the perfect opportunity to solve the brain fog that you're having, the low energy that you're having. You may have been offered something that would have done so well for you and your physical body, but you thought, I don't have time, I'm too stressed out, I can't physically do that. All of these subconscious programs that say you can't. And then the ego comes in with just another story. The ego comes in and says like, nope, don't do that. That's unsafe. You don't want to do that because change is bad and humans don't like change. So all of these things that are working against you for you getting the thing that you want, for you getting to the other side, you're walking past these opportunities because you have two things against you. The egoic mind telling you that you need to stay safe and change nothing. And then the subconscious mind saying that you can't, right? So the simplicity of just writing down with a piece of paper and a pen all of the things that you are interested in this life, all of the things that you would like to have, followed by visualizing all of those things that you would like to have, is going to begin to, piece by piece, break those blinders off so that the next time you walk by a beautiful opportunity, an easy opportunity, an opportunity that would make a huge difference for you in your life, you will actually be able to see it. You will actually be able to register it. And another way I can explain this is, have you ever noticed that once you buy a vehicle, that you see that vehicle everywhere? What about when somebody tells you a new subject and suddenly you see it everywhere? You Google something and suddenly you see it everywhere. Well, I mean, that one's kind of designed by Facebook, but the idea is that it starts to come into your subconscious mind, into your existence. It's because our subconscious mind, our conscious mind is designed to filter out 90% of our environment. Because if we always took in all of our environment, every single aspect, the texture in that paint, the breeze, the way that it feels, the way that our body is touching the chair, the light, the connection, the laptop in front of me, the yellow, the green, the pink, all of that sort of things. If it always took in all of it, we would be exhausted all of the time. And so we have this great system. I can't recall what it's called right now, but we have this great system in our brain that filters out all of that so that we are not in complete overstimulus all the time. And it's for our benefit, which is beautiful, and I love that. But it is the reason that you're walking by all these opportunities. It's the reason that you haven't been able to get to the other side of what you want, is because you truly have filtered it out. And like at first blush, this is hard to hear because most people think, well, I'm an intelligent human being. I would never filter out an opportunity for growth and healing. I'm telling you now, you have done it. I have done it. All of us have done it. We have walked by beautiful opportunities that could bring us exactly from A to B 1,000 times because it is not in our existence yet. We have not bought that car and now seen Priuses everywhere yet because it's not in our world yet. Okay? So let's start today with getting ultra clear on our goals. Write them down and then begin to visualize what you would like. These small steps are going to make a huge difference for you. Sometimes in my trainings and podcasts, I talk about the physical ways that you can heal yourself based on me as a patient who has seen these physical ways work for me. But this is truly the brilliance. This is my zone of genius. This is what really will make the difference for you, is because all of that stuff is well and good, and I love it, and it's important. And talking about that stuff is big, and I know it's helpful for myself and for the group and for the women that I speak to hear about the physical ways that you can improve your life. But this mindset stuff is so much more important than just the physical stuff. If you never did a physical thing again in your life, but only worked on your mindset, you would see great improvement in your life. And that is my guarantee. So I hope that you follow what I've detailed for you today. I hope that it makes a difference for you and that you come back to me and say, hey, I tried your exercise and it worked. A week later, someone said to me something, I registered it, I understood it, and I took action. And everything in my life is so much more hopeful now. It can happen that fast, my friends, if you just do the work. So spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, if it feels good to you, putting in time into this, and then spend 5 minutes every single day visualizing what you want, and you will be amazed what happens for you. Okay? Hope you have a beautiful day. We'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for listening. If you found expansion with this last episode, then that means that others will too. And the best way to get the word out about the podcast is by leaving a review. I would be so grateful if you could leave me a review and let me know how you felt about the podcast. Included in the show notes will be everything that we talked about today, including all of my transformative programs. Change is just on the horizon, my friend.